All right, here we go. Live Muscles and Magic the Gathering. Just aligning these cameras here. We are going to talk about a few of my favorite things tonight. We are going to talk about Magic the Gathering, and we are going to talk about Final Fantasy. Sorry, I was just checking my phone, make sure this live stream was hooked up and ready to go. But two of my favorite things of all time, Magic the Gathering, Final Fantasy. Now, first, Magic the Gathering. I have collected Magic the Gathering cards for over 3 decades now. I started in the 90s, so I have a massive collection. If you follow me, if you subscribe, if you know what I do, if you've been to my Moxfield, you know that I have 56 absolutely killer A-level commander decks. I've also got 40 complete sets of Magic the Gathering. I used to have 40 complete sets. I've taken a lot of those apart to build these commander decks. So Magic the Gathering, you know that's one of my loves. But now let's talk about Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 1 was the very first video game that my parents bought for me, along with the 8-bit Nintendo, if you remember that. The game was released, I had to look this up today, in 1987. So quite a long time ago. And the universe is beyond. This is something that is decades in the making since 1987. Finally, the streams have crossed. Two of my favorite things have come together. So we got Final Fantasy and we have Magic the Gathering. Now tonight, I want to talk a little bit about some of the Final Fantasy spoilers. Two of my favorites, Cloud X Soldier and Sephiroth Fabled Soldier. I've actually done a couple of YouTube videos on this. The Sephiroth one is live on my channel right now. The Cloud one will be going live tomorrow, so watch out for that. There will be some deck tech on these. So we're going to talk about these cards a little bit tonight. We're going to do some pack openings. I got some fun packs tonight. We got Foundations. We have a Battle for Baldur's Gate, Dungeons and Dragons. And we have a Brothers War Collector Booster. So we are going to see if we can open up a serialized Mox Amber, an Ancient Copper Dragon. And for the Foundation packs, I am looking for a General Crete. Need it for my Goblin deck. So we will do some pack openings. And there may be a surprise appearance from Muldrotha. We're not sure yet, but we're going to find out. Let's get into some deck tech. The original video that's up on my YouTube right now on Sephiroth is 12 cards that you need to include in your Sephiroth deck. But there's a couple I forgot. So I kind of want to just go over some cards that you can add to Sephiroth. Now, first of all, let's take a look at this guy. Sephiroth Fabled Soldier. Whenever Sephiroth enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. If this is the 4th time this ability has resolved this turn, transform Sephiroth. What does Sephiroth transform into? Well, 1-winged angel. Flying supernova. As this creature transforms into Sephiroth, the 1-winged angel, you get an emblem with whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So kind of like Blood Artist, if you will. It's a Blood Artist emblem. Whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may sacrifice any number of other creatures. If you do draw that many cards, emblems are super hard to deal with. They're almost impossible to get rid of unless you find some way to restart the game. So great card there. And the coolest thing is if you can get rid of this and then bring him out again and then transform again and get rid of it and create this loop, you can make, theoretically, you can make as many Blood Artist tokens as you want. So that can get incredibly powerful. So when you're looking at building a deck around Sephiroth, you're looking at sacrifice outlets. Now, in my video, I talked about things like the Phyrexian Altar. I talked about Ashnod's Altar. I talked about Tevish Zat. So there are a lot of cards you can include. We got a comment here, and I always prioritize comments, so I would love to interact with you. Put your comments in the stream, please. Hello, just woke up. Good morning from Asia. Is this a future Commander Brew? Yes, it is a future Commander Brew. I will be. The minute I get this, I will build it. People ask me why I haven't built it already, because I only build decks using real cards. I don't use proxies. I don't make pretend decks on my Moxfield. I gotta have the real cards, and I've actually started putting cards aside for the Sephiroth deck. So in my original video, I talked about, like I said, I talked about the Phyrexian Altar. I talked about Tevish Stat, which is an incredible commander for this. I talked about the Viscera Seer another great card for this deck. But let's talk about this, the Gravecrawler. Gravecrawler can't block. You may cast Gravecrawler from your graveyard as long as you control a zombie. I imagine in any type of Sephiroth build, you're going to be sacrificing a lot of creatures. You want to get stuff back from the graveyard, so zombies are going to be a really good natural choice. And the Gravecrawler can keep coming back and coming back and coming back as long as you control a zombie, so it's going to be great. Johannes Casual just got here. Why is Sephiroth the best commander of the decade, man? You know what? I'll tell you what. First of all, I love mono black. Secondly, this card, if you look at it, it's built on sacrificing creatures. There's a lot of synergy in black for that. Third, whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And then you also get that ability here. The reason I think that this is going to be one of the best commanders in the last decade, and yes, DRMN66, I think this is going to be the best commander in the set, is I really think this ability to transform to Sephiroth, the One-Winged Angel, is going to be really, really easy with all the sacrifice engines that you have in black. Like I said, things like Phyrexian Altar, things like Ashnod's Altar, the amount of tokens you can create. Something like a Bitter Blossom in there can create tokens. But the amount of creatures you're going to be able to create and sacrifice, I think you're constantly going to be able to abuse this ability to transform to One-Winged Angel. And then when you have gotten One-Winged Angel out and you start sacrificing any other number of creatures, you draw that many cards. I think you're going to be able to completely 100% abuse that ability. I think what you're going to see when this is built right is you're going to see those kind of decks where you're just drawing out your entire deck and absolutely running over your opponent. So that's my sales pitch for Sephiroth. God Eternal Bontu, another great sack outlet. Menace, when God Eternal Bontu enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of other permanents and draw that many cards. When God Eternal Bontu dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library, third from the top. So this is going to allow you to sacrifice multiple cards to be able to trigger Sephiroth. Here's a big one. This card's going for about 22 bucks right now. Pay 2 life, sacrifice another creature, so you get the sacrifice engine, and then search your library for a card and put that card into your hand and shuffle your library. So it also acts as like a demonic tutor on a stick that's going to work with Sephiroth. Talk about a great card for Sephiroth, Grave Pact. Whenever a creature you control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. It's going to be a great card. Bastion of Remembrance. When it enters, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token, so some fodder for the sacrifice engine. And whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain a life. We're going to be able to abuse that in this deck as well. Black Market Connections. You can make treasure, you can draw cards, and you can create a token that you could sacrifice. Mirkwood Bats. Whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses a life. That is going to be so abusable in this deck, it's not even going to be funny. We talked about the Viscera Seer on my YouTube upload, if you will, on Sephiroth, and Deadly Dispute, another great sacrifice engine. The Accursed Marauder is going to be a fun card to have in this deck. Accursed Marauder is a great card in a zombie deck, but each player is going to sacrifice a creature, and that will trigger Sephiroth right away. Here's another cool thing with Sephiroth. If you have a Dark Ritual in your deck, in theory, you could bring this guy out turn 1, which would be incredible, right? If you could get him on the board turn 1, you would be way, way ahead of the game. So I think Sephiroth is going to be great. But if Sephiroth is one of the best commanders we've seen, you know who else is going to be good? Cloud X Soldier. One of the limitations to equipment decks, in my opinion, is they've generally been relegated to white decks or white and red, where you've done the Boros type thing. Now, I do have a Boros equipment deck. It is based on Arden and Rograk. It's a really good deck. But if you add green in there, it takes that deck to a whole new level. If you could put a survival of the fittest, if you could put a Gaia's Cradle, if you could put a worldly tutor, if you could put a natural order in there, it will take that deck to the next level. And spoiler alert, I actually have a video coming out tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe, turn your notifications on. I've got a full breakdown on this guy right here coming out tomorrow. 15 cards that you absolutely need in a Cloud X Soldier deck. There's so much great stuff. One of those cards, spoiler alert, is going to be the Colossus Hammer. Another spoiler alert, we are going to make sure we include the Sword of Wealth and Power. So if you are into building Cloud, make sure you tune in tomorrow because we will be talking about that. I want to know what your favorite commanders are in the upcoming releases. If there's any that have really caught your eye, I think these two are going to be an incredible build. And again, I think that's going to be one of the strongest commanders we've seen in the last 10 years, the way people are going to be able to abuse that sacrifice engine and abuse card draw. Card draw is one of the most important parts of winning a game of Commander. Card draw, mana ramp. Look at this card too. Beautiful card. Cloud, Midgard Mercenary. So yeah, back to the script. The three most important parts of a game of Commander: card draw, mana ramp, tutoring. You are right. Colossus Hammer does go insane. And then we got, what do you think about Clive Rossfield? Ifrit's Dominant. I plan on building him. You know, I actually need to look that card up to know exactly what it is. I'm not 100% on top of my spoilers, but let's see. Clive Rossfield. All right, let's see. MTG. Here we go. Let's read this here. All right. When Clive enters, you may discard your hand, then draw cards equal to your devotion to red. Man, so this is like, it's kind of like almost in ways like a Wheel of Fortune on a stick. Exile Clive, then return it to the battlefield, transformed under its owner's control, activate only as a sorcery. And then it's going to turn into a Freet, Warden of Inferno. It's a Saga. Saga Part 1 is a Freet, fights up to one other target creature. 2 is Brimstone, add 4 mana. If a Freet has 3 or more lore counters on it, exile it, then return it to the battlefield front face up. So you're going to add a bunch of mana. No, this is going to be really, really good. An incredible way to draw through your deck. This would actually be a really, really fun mono red deck to build, especially if you have a bunch of wheels in it and stuff like that. For me, casting cost is a little high. I generally try to stay away from monocolored decks. I do have a couple of monocolored goblin decks because they're part of my collection. I do try to stay away from them though, but it is pretty good. Vivi Orniteer, that's the one that adds all the mana, right? I think that one's going to be completely abusable as well. There's a lot of incredible, incredible stuff. So I promised you some pack openings, and I promised you a little visit from Muldrotha. So we're going to talk about that right now. Here's my Muldrotha, the Gravetide deck. This is my 56th Commander deck, and I've started putting that together. Show you a couple of spoilers. We have some swamps, beautiful printings of swamps here. All right, and keep your Final Fantasy, comments coming. Arcane Signet, Zagoth Triome, Lotus Petal, Mazaruk, Crawl, Death Priest, Tarmogoyf, Swiftwood Boots, Liliana's Death Majesty, Recurring Nightmare, Ultra of Dementia, Soul Ring, Renin Realmbreaker, Endurance, White of the Reliquary, Navinral's Disc, Crop Rotation, Toxic Deluge, Narset Parter of Veils, Oko, the Thief of Crowns. We have the Mimeoplasm, which is the Slimer version, Sir Conrad the Grim, the Gitrog Monster, Notion Thief, Ravenous Chupacabra, Reclamation Sage, Tabal the Balanced Scale, Vampiric Tutor, Reanimate, Deadly Rollick, Sensei's Divining Top. By the way, none of these are proxies. These are just cards I kind of had around. And it just worked out that I had a bunch of graveyard synergy type stuff. Taval's Judgment, the Grim Flayer, the Mana Crypt, the Demonic Tutor, the Psychic Frog, the Animate Dead, the Buried Alive, the Entomb, Bolus's Citadel, Intuition, Pernicious Deed, Kaya's Ghost Form, a Cursed Marauder. That's the one that's going to be great in that Sephiroth deck. Grave Pact, another card that's going to be great in the Sephiroth deck. Ashnod's Altar, another auto-include in the Sephiroth deck. And the Phyrexian Altar, another auto-include in the Sephiroth deck. But we are building Muldrotha. And I just got a package from, if you know what this is, it's Card Kingdom. I've been ordering from Card Kingdom for over a decade now. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite place to order stuff from on the internet. Now, I'm not sponsored by Card Kingdom. They don't pay me. It just legitimately, I've been a loyal customer for over, a decade now. I've tried to order things from other places when they don't have what I need or I can't get some other stuff. And, oh, wow, this is a surprise. All right. This is not the package that I thought I was getting. This is a much different package. I thought I was getting some Muldrotha stuff, but we're going to have to pivot here because this is not my Muldrotha order. This is something entirely different. Let's look at this, what we're getting. This is going to be my 57th Commander deck. Let's take a look. Oh, yes, sir. Got to get these cards out from Card Kingdom. But anyway, I love Card Kingdom. They don't pay me, but you do get your cards all at once. The prices are reasonable. They've got great customer service. And yeah, let's look at what I got from Card Kingdom. See if you can guess what kind of deck I am building. Muldrotha is going to have to take a back seat. Now I actually want to check my Card Kingdom order to see when this the Muldrotha cards are coming in because I needed some reinforcements from the Muldrotha card. Let me actually check that out right now. And I can actually tell you what I ordered because I don't want to disappoint you. So let's, my account, sign in. Sign into Card Kingdom right here. And I'll tell you what I was supposed to get from the Card Kingdom. I can't even remember what I was ordering. I order so much stuff, to be honest with you. So order history. This one came. All right. Let's look at the Muldrotha, and I'll tell you what I'm getting. Looks like it's coming by Friday, okay? That is the tracking, but let's see what I got. Here we go. The suspense, I bet it's killing you. All right, a Baleful Strix, a Deadeye Navigator, a Doc Orlok, an Elvish Harbinger, an Eternal Witness, the Gravebreaker Lamia, the Haywire Might. I got a Horn of Gondor, that's for another deck. The Notion Thief, that's for another deck. A Plague Crafter, a Savage Ventmaw, that's for another deck. We got a Seal of Primordium. We have a Secrets of the Dead. We have a World Shaper. We have a Gifts Ungiven. We have a Lightning Greaves, we have a Mystic Remora, a Sakura Tribe Elder, and a Spore Frog. So those are for my Muldrotha deck. Dude, how many decks do you have? I've got 56 with 57 on the way. And the 57th deck is going to be this deck right here. And you are going to go bananas over this because this is a really, really fun deck. The commander for this deck is going to be the Sliver Queen. So we are going to build slivers. We've got the Sliver Hivlord, the Cloud Shredder Sliver, the Thorncaster Sliver, the Bone Scythe Sliver, the Gale Rider Sliver, the Lazotep Sliver, the Dregscape Sliver, Sliver Legion, Muscle Sliver, Necrotic Sliver, Sinew Sliver, the Manoweft Sliver, the Sliver Hive, the Gemhide Sliver, the Crypt Sliver, the Hunter Sliver, the Quick Sliver, the Synapse Sliver. Are you bored of slivers yet? The First Sliver, the Harmonic Sliver, the Hive Stone, the Root Sliver, the Sliver Overlord, Crystalline Sliver, Predatory Sliver. We are slivers to the max right now. So these are super, super cool. I'm really excited for that. Sorry I couldn't get to Muldrotha today. I really wanted to build that deck to you, but we'll save that for the next live. Those cards should be in. In the meantime, we got all these slivers, and all those slivers combined. Man, that was a big bill. Ran me up $401. Sliver Queen alone was $183. The Sliver Lord was $48. All right, the Sliver Legion was $49 for the foil. The Sliver Hive was $18. The first sliver was $33. Like, slivers are not cheap, but they are going to build an incredible deck. All right, so are you taking it a combo route or keyword style? Probably more keywords, but honestly, it's really just a kinfolk type deck. My goal is to have 100 full commander decks. Now, I've got angels, I've got Eldrazi, I've got goblins, I've got elves, I've got zombies, I've got fairies, I've got humans, right? I've got pirates even. I want to build all the kinfolk in the Magic the Gathering universe. And so really with this deck, I am just sticking a bunch of slivers together, and they will all work together because there is some great synergy within the sliver community, if you will. Probably to top up this deck, I'll throw in a coat of arms, I'll throw in a Door of Destinies, I'll throw in a couple of tutors, probably throw in a banner of kinship or a patchwork banner, and it's just going to be slivers going bananas. Probably a worldly tutor, probably some things for card draw, maybe a Ristic Study, a Mystic Remora, something like that. And yeah, it's just going to be a slivers kinfolk deck, tribal deck. I find those honestly the easiest way to build. They're just fun. Like if all I did, right, like just hear me out, right? I also have the Sliver Grave Mother, but I already owned that card. But hear me out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. If I just put those 24 slivers in a deck, right? If I put those 24 slivers in a deck, added a coat of arms, added a Door of Destinies, a couple other things, like it's going to be a good deck just based on that. So tribals are really, really fun to build. DRM, cool. You have zombies. Who are the commanders? Well, I have a few. First one, I've got the Scarab God. That is one zombie deck that I have. So I've built a Scarab God. It's a black and a blue. I'm actually just pulling up my Mox Field right now. It's a black and a blue deck. It's a really, really, really high-powered deck. The next one, and by the way, that deck is called Hordes of Raccoon City. I always make my decks... oh yeah, Mana Echoes, that has to go in here too. As well as a Shared Animosity, probably an Aggravated Assault, right? Probably an Impact Tremors. Okay, so back to the zombies. So the Hordes of Raccoon City, I always name my decks. And by the way, if you go to my Moxfield, Bobby Maximus, I've got all 56 decks listed. But my Hordes of Raccoon City deck, I'm going to pull it up right here for you now. It's helmed by the Scarab God. It's black and blue. It's a bracket 4. It's got 12 game changers and 8 tutors. There are a couple of banned cards. I play with banned cards, Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt, but a super high powered deck. I've got in that a Demonic Tutor, an Imperial Seal, an Ad Nauseam, a Cyclonic Rift, a Fierce Guardianship, a Force of Will, a Mystical Tutor, a Vampiric Tutor, a Bolus's Citadel, a One Ring, a Balance Tomb, a Field of the Dead. Like, it's just stacked. Now, my next one's called The Walking Dead, and that's named after, obviously, the iconic series. And in The Walking Dead, it's Jared Golgari, Lich Lord. It's a graveyard synergy type Golgari, everything you'd expect deck. That one is a bracket 3. There are 0 game changers. There are 4 tutor cards. And I don't believe I'm using any banned cards in that deck. I am not. So it's a true bracket 3. Although the mana value of it's 203, which is pretty low. And I think it plays a lot better than a bracket 3. I got my thoughts on the bracket system, but we'll leave those for another time. And then I built a upgraded, I got to show you this one. I actually just recorded the episode, and I will be uploading it soon. But it's called Army of the Dead. I actually have the pleasure to know Zack Snyder, incredible guy, incredible filmmaker, but one of my favorite zombie movies of all time. but I did an Army of the Dead deck based on Temet Nactumon's Will. It's the Eternal Might Precon. Now, the normal Eternal Might Precon, I think you buy for like $50 right now. I upgraded it. I added $750 of upgrades to this, but now it is a bracket 4. It's got 4 game changers. I added a Smothering Tithe, a Rhystic Study, a Demonic Tutor, and an Ancient Tune. I added Liliana Vess. I added a bunch of Liliana cards. So that is a 3-colored zombie deck. So I guess I've got 3 zombie decks, if you will. I'm a little obsessed, but a lot of fun. So away we go. Now, we have to open some packs. By the way, I'm getting a text message in here. I'm going to answer that. But we do need to open some packs. So those are my 3 zombie decks, DRMN66. I'm wondering who your favorite commander is for zombies. Are we talking Jared Golgari Lich Lord? Are we talking the Scarab God? It should be the Scarab God. Or are we talking the Temet card, right? Anyway, let's open some packs. We're going to open these first, Foundations. We are looking for a General Crete. If I get a General Crete, I will be happy. I actually don't have any yet. Question I often get is, why don't you have this card in your commander deck? Listen, I have 56 full commander decks, and we got dinosaurs. We're going to see how this goes. I have 56 full commander decks. I actually have a dinosaur deck called The Land Before Time. Hopefully this can pop it up. People ask me, like, why don't you have this card in it? Why don't you have this card in it? Because I am the most real Magic the Gathering channel in the YouTube universe, and I only build decks if I actually have the cards. I don't use proxies. I don't use pretend decks using like the graphics on the screen. If they're in the decks, I have the cards. So let's look through dinosaurs. Oh, we have Ghalta, Primal Hunger. Great card. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total power of creatures you control. Topiary Stomper, another great dinosaur. All right. Saurian Symbiote, Cherished Tashling, Colossal Dreadmaw, Commune with Dinosaurs, Drowning Tyrannodon, Predator Strike, Rampant Growth, great card. Tail Swipe, Thrashing Brontodon, and Thundering Spineback. I can't even talk, but the hits were the Ghalta and the Topiary Stomper. Not worth the value of the pack, and we did not get Crete yet. The only one I'm looking for is Crete. I'd also accept that Dionysus, that elf card, because I need one of those too. I only have one of them. I haven't been lucky with the Foundation Jumpstarts packs, so we'll see. Heroes. That means we struck out of Crete again, and I don't even know if there's anything white that I want from the Foundation's Jumpstart. Maybe in the comments you guys can help me. Anything I want. Brigone, Soldier of Meletis. Whenever you cast a spell that targets, put a 1/1 counter on it. Okay, not great. Not great. Boring. Sorry, I know people put a lot of effort into that set, but I am not excited. I want a General Crete or I want the Dionysus. All right, one more. One more. Let's see what we got. Fun guys. We might have that Shrufus card. I would actually take that one. It's good value. Oh, we got it. How much is that one worth? That is a deadly card. I think that is actually a big hit. I will take that instead of the General Crete, I think. Let's look at what that is worth. $11.99. Yeah, that's not a bad hit at all. We also got another Tree Folk. I really need to build a Tree Folk type deck. And this works with Saprolings again. I wonder what this one's worth. This might have been a really, really good pack. Vertiloff the Ancient. Not great. 39 cents. But I could build a deck out of this. Saurian Symbionite, Slimy Piper, Underseller, Myconid, Band Together for the Family, Fungal Plots, Overcome, Saproling Migration, Spore Swarm, Spore Crown Thallid. So I really probably do build. I would actually love to build a mono green deck around Shrufus. Whenever a sapling you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green sapling creature tokens. It kind of reminds me of the Earl of Squirrel. Earl of Squirrel should be legal, by the way. But yeah, so maybe I need to build a sapling deck, and that could be one of the 100. I mentioned I build a lot of kinfolk decks. I do need a cat deck. I do need a sliver deck. So away we go. We have 2 packs left, and then we'll wrap this up. All right. Make sure you get those supers in. They help me make more content. I don't have a Patreon yet. I want to make one, but get your supers in. Subscribe, put a comment down, like the stream, all that stuff helps me. We are looking for an ancient copper dragon, and we are looking for a serialized Mox Amber. So we're going to go with that first. Let's see what we get in these collector packs. Here we go. Kalios Rock, Thraxodemon, Rock Hunter, Killzone Acrobatic, Phalagi Vanguard, Skyfisher Spider, Swamp, Battlefield Forge, that's a hit. That's a great card. Urza's Silex, not terrible. Machine God's Effigy, not an awful card. Mishra's Bauble, Jalen Tomb, Thorn of Amethyst, Prowl, Stoic Strategist. When I saw this, I thought we had a serialized Thorn of Amethyst, but we do not. It's just another Thorn of Amethyst. So that, I'll call that pack. That was a strikeout. Man, I've had some bad luck with the packs lately, but maybe we can get it back. Maybe in this Dungeons and Dragons one, we can get that ancient copper dragon. All right. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Just some pure gambling. Grey Harbor Merfolk, Band Together, Black Dragon Gate, Draconic Muralists, Thunderwave, Plains, Marble Diamond, Goot True Zealot, Imuin Mystic Trickster, Duke Ulder Ravengard, Solemn Doom Guide, Earthquake Dragon, that's not a bad dragon at all. Glunch the Bestower, Mazzy True Sword Paladin, and Fearbug Flutist. Strike out. Actually, that Earthquake Dragon might be worth a little bit now because dragons are hot. The Earthquake Dragon is going for $7.99. Not a great hit. So not great packs. Nothing to write home about. Ooh, what's this? Whenever an enchanted creature attacks one of your opponents. Okay, no. Glunch, not great. So we kind of struck out in these packs tonight, to be honest with you. But this is what happens. All right. Yep, I'm just looking through again. But we did not get anything great. What's a Thorn of Amethyst worth? Does anyone know? Let me look this up. Let me see. Nope, 99 cents, 79 cents, nothing. Yeah, not a great day. Not a great day at the opening office, but those things do happen. Consider it an investment in the channel. I did get this Transformers card, which I love, but again, not a lot of stuff. That's actually not a bad card. I wonder what that one's worth. Hopefully I got one win. $4.99. Let's see what Urza's Silex is worth. $90. $1.79. Yeah, we struck out hard in this. Battlefield Forge is probably the winner, actually, from a usability standpoint and money. But there we go. Shrufus was a big card. That was the best one we got. It is what it is. I wish I would have bought singles. I actually had a bunch of singles lined up. They came out $75. And I had a 6. I had a Shieldred. And I was like, yeah, let me buy packs. Let me open for the channel tonight. And, well, This is what happens. But then other times you open one, you open a serialized, so you just never ever know. All right, so this has been a live. We did the Final Fantasy thing. We did some openings. We talked about my slivers. We were supposed to talk about Muldrotha, but we did not. And this has been another Muscles and Magic the Gathering live. Really excited to continue this journey with you. I want this to be a place of positivity. And again, the most legitimate, real, authentic Magic the Gathering channel on the planet. No proxies, no graphics, just actual real cards. This is actually a stack of black cards I had laying around. So that is who I am. And thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, turn those notifications on, and spend some time with me. I really, really appreciate you all. And happy openings, especially with the Final Fantasy set coming up. And leave some comments. I'd love to hear from you. In every one of my videos, I'm looking for constant ways to build my deck. So I would love to hear from you and interact with you. And that's my sign.